Welcome to the Fluffy Cow Studio. I'm so grateful that you popped in to see us today. We have some fun little Valentines for you to do today. Um, Welcome if you are just new here. We appreciate you so much coming in. And if you're returning, thank you so much for your support. I really value you. You have no idea how important you are to me, and I really hope that you will continue coming. If you are not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. And if you like what you see, please hit the like button. I'm going to start out with this wooden heart from Dollar Tree. And I'm just taking the string, the little jute string that's on there, and I'm taking it off. And we will replace it at the end, but right now I'm taking it off. I'm trying to get that knot out and I can't do it, so I'm just going to pull it out. Alright, then I get this part done and I am going to take some masking tape and I'm going to adjust it. I'm going to lay it down and get it all on there, and then I'm going to rip it up and put it up a little higher. I'm doing two colors on this, and so I want, well, actually three, but I wanted that bottom one to be just a little bit bigger. And so after I get the tape off there, I'm going to take some acrylic paint in the bright red. And I'm just going to paint that bottom portion of the heart. I ended up painting, I think, 3 coats on this because, it just needed it. I wanted it to be nice and look good. Then, because I don't show this, I took some, and I don't know why I didn't show it, on the top part I painted it with some, I want to say nutmeg, some nutmeg brown. And then I painted it, but then I wiped it off to give it the stained look. So before it got dry, I wiped it down and I did the up and down motion because that's the way the grain's going. And as I'm painting this last coat on here, I'm also doing that same thing. I'm taking the paint and my brush strokes and going up and down. Okay, now I'm going to paint that strip white. I end up covering that up at the end, but for now I'm doing a little bit of white. I'm not actually going quite all the way down to the red. I wanted to wait for that paint to dry and then I'd put some tape on. But I end up putting a ribbon over it and I never did go back to painting it, and it didn't matter because you don't see it. Okay, I remembered the brand of paint I'm using. It's Apple Barrel, and I just got it at Walmart. But on some of these colors that I use a lot, I get the bigger bottles because it lasts longer. Okay, now I have this stamp, and this stamp is so old. I can't even, I think when I bought it, it was, 5 cents or something. But it's what I'm doing is I'm taking some paint and I'm painting on the pattern, and then I'm just taking a small brush and I'm painting it on there, and then I'm just dabbing it onto the heart, onto the red, and I do that all over. I don't know if I show it all because it's kind of time consuming, but I just am painting that heart on that stamp, putting it down, and I'm just going over the bottom. You will find that there is a few little marks and I will fix them. Some of the paint kind of got dabbed in some places it shouldn't have been, and we'll go over that with some red, and also I will be putting some dots in between those hearts. So it will get it all fixed at the end. I hope you guys are all doing well. I'm hoping that you're all healthy with this flu virus that's been going around. I'm hoping you guys are doing really well. I think I finally got over mine. That's the first time I've had a flu virus in a long, long time, in many years. Okay, now you can see I'm taking my little white paintbrush, or my paintbrush, at the top end of my paintbrush, the end of my paintbrush, and I am just putting some little dots on. I wanted a different size dots, so I ended up getting a skewer and using it. But I kind of made a little bit of some mistakes here and there, and you can see that. But we'll fix them, it's no problem. Now I'm using the skewer. Just putting them anywhere I think they need it, in between some of them hearts. And I use both ends. I use the smaller end and I use the bigger end. Now I'm going to take some red, and on some of those places where I made a mistake, I'm taking a little tiny brush or the skewer, I think it's the skewer, and I'm just covering up those little places that needed to be touched up. Okay, and now I am painting the back with the nutmeg. And I'm just wiping it off. And then I decide to just squirt some on there, maybe make it a little easier for me. Now I'm going to take my, actually I'm taking a baby wipe and I'm wiping it down now. And I'm going to do the other side of the heart. I'm just going up and down because that's the grain of the wood. I'm just checking to make sure I didn't get any of that brown over on the red, and now I'm just taking my baby wipe and I'm wiping it down. And then I'm just going to let it sit there until it dries. And then I'm going to take this ribbon that I found. At first I thought, oh, this clashes, this makes it look too busy, but I kind of liked it. I don't know why, because I usually don't like that much, but I kind of liked the way it looked, so I went ahead and used it. And this is a wire. It came off of a wire ribbon. It came off of a craft or some kind of thing I was doing, and a project or something. It came off of something, and it's basically the only ribbon I had right at the time. And that would work well with Valentines anyway. And I'm mostly just going along the edges where the wire is. And then I'm taking just a little bit into the back, folding it over and gluing it down. And I do the same there. I cut off the excess. And then I just glue it on down. Okay, now I'm going to take this red rose that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to put it on there on the side, and I need to I didn't cut that stem quite short enough. I need to cut it off. And then I am going to stick a flower. This came on that same pick, and it's a heart, a foam heart, glitter heart with some baby breath, and we'll be putting that in. And now I'm putting some foam hearts. These are red and pink. And I'll just be taking them down the side. And then I take some little foam balls, cut them in half. These are left over from Christmas. They're white and silver. And I do have some red ones too. I don't know if I put the red ones on here, if I just use the white and silver. And then I just take them all the way down to the end of the heart. And it looks like I put a white rose on the top. I must have cut that part out, but I did put a white rose on top of the heart and the red rose. Okay, now I am making a bow. I'm taking some white ribbon and I put a white pipe cleaner around it. Did the same with the red ribbon. Glued them together, and I am putting them on underneath the rose there. And then I put one of those little white balls cut in half on the middle of that. Then I take the string and go back, take it through again and tie it up. Make a hanger. Just threading it through the hole. I kind of have my yellow flower in, or white flower in there, so it's kind of a little bit tougher, but I'm taking it out now and I'm going to tie a knot. And we are done. And this is the final project. Now I'm taking a few minutes here to remind you that we're having a drawing at the end of January in celebration that I finally got 50 subscribers. If you want to be entered into our drawing, the rules are you have to be subscribed and you have to go to my email and put your name and your mailing address where I can send the gift if you win. My email address is down here. Now I noticed I was kind of overcoming my flu with my last videos, the last two videos, and I put the wrong address down. I don't know why, but it is fluffycowstudio25@gmail.com. That's fluffycowstudio25@gmail.com. On my other two videos, my last two videos, I put Fluffy Cow Studio 65. Don't know where that came from, but my brain wasn't functioning. I was still in the virus fog, I guess. But we're doing much better, and so we are going to continue with our drawing, and it will be at the end of February. Now, I was able to pick up a bunch of these little truck MDF boards for 25 cents at the Dollar Tree. And I got a bunch of them because there's a whole bunch of things I can do with them. And right now I'm going to paint the truck red. And I'm just using, this one I'm using bright or crimson red. And I ended up giving this 2 or 3 coats as well. Okay, while that's drying, I'm taking a little nutmeg and going over the rack or the corral part of the back of that truck. Now I'm taking some black and I'm doing the tires. I'm going around the tires. And then I go on the inside where the hole is and on the outside edge of them as well. And I'm just kind of trying to be careful to make that tire round. And I'm just getting the edges while I'm doing it. And I'm going to do the other tire the same way. Using just plain black. No, maybe it's ink black. I don't know if it's black or ink black. But it's the Apple Barrel acrylic paint. And I'm just using a straight edge paintbrush, a small one. Again, just trying to make that wheel. I'm not really good with drawn circles, but I'm just trying to make that as round as I can. Doing another quick coat of the red. Okay, now I'm going to take a little bit of black and I'm oh no, I'm not, sorry. 'Cause what I'm doing is I mixed some red and some blue, and I think it was I can't remember the blue. I'll have to let you know, but it doesn't matter what color of blue. And I made a kind of purple color. If I would have had like a barn red or a maroon, I would have used that. So if you have a maroon color, you can use that. Or I just used, I started out with blue, but then I ended up mixing my red with that to get kind of a purple because I'm doing the wheel wells. And it's like, when I see people do these all the times, they never include the wheel wells, but I'm going to include the wheel wells. So we're making just a little bit of line where you can see the wheel wells. I'm just using blue, then I go over it with a little bit of red again, and then I ended up mixing the blue and red and going over. I just want that to be a deeper color. However, I need to take my white and go over my tires, the top edge of my tires, so you can so that that's a little bit more defined. And I didn't realize that until I'm sitting here watching this. Now I'm taking a white and I'm just going over the top of that wheel well, just to give it a break between the truck bed, the fender that we're going to be painting, and the wheel well. Then I'm going to take some more white with a little bit of red, and we're going to go over and make a fender. Okay, here I'm still working on that wheel well. Okay, now I'm just kind of lightening up that fender. You can kind of start seeing now I got a little bit more white on there. I really am toning that down, and when I was painting it looks really bright, but when you're looking at it here it's wasn't all that bright. Okay, now I'm taking some of that purple and I'm drawing out the doors, the windows, and I'm going over that wheel well again. Okay, now I am going to take some white and a little bit of pink and do the fender. I'm just taking the white above the wheel well and taking a little bit of red to lighten it up a little bit, or darken it up. I want it to be lighter, but so you can see the difference, but I don't want it to be really light either. Okay, now I'm taking some of that purple and going around that fender for a shadow. And I'm doing the same thing over there. I'm taking that purple and I'm going around that um, fender. Now I'm taking some white. I'm going to do a little area for the windshield, for the light, for the grill, for the bumper. No, not the bumper, just um, the grill. Now I'm going to take a little bit of that nutmeg and I am going to go on the bottom of that for like a step. And I'm taking some black paint now and making some little wood marks and defining the wood in that on that rack in the back. Now I'm taking some highlights, some white highlights, going over the fender, the door. I don't know why I didn't do the tires. I should have done the tires then, but I'll do them. Okay, now I'm going to take these, I got a little piece of cardboard and I traced a circle from my paint bottle and I painted it gray. And I'm painting my bumper gray, my bumper's gray as well. I don't know what I'm doing right there. Probably perfecting. I painted the bumpers gray. And then I take some glue. Once those little cardboard board circles get dry, then I will right now I'm taking some glue and I'm just putting some silver glitter. Now I'm going to take and draw some circles where the holes are for the hubcaps. And then I'm going to put glue on them and then I'm going to put some glitter. And then I'm going to also right now I think right there with the thing I'm making a headlight. And now I'm just gluing them circles onto the truck tires in the back because I wanted them to have them hubcaps. And that glitter really makes them pop as well as the grill and the bumper. If I would have had some tin foil, I would have just used tin foil, but I didn't have any tin foil, so I had to use glitter. I realized that when for a Christmas dinner I used the last of my tin foil and I haven't been to the store since I've been to the store, but I haven't didn't realize I forgot I was out of it. Now I'm taking a Sharpie, the thin one, and I'm going to go around the wheel wells, the fenders, the door, and make a door handle, and right there I'm drawing a headlight on there. And now I'm gluing and putting some glitter on that bumper. Now I'm going to put some hearts on. I didn't want to cover the corral thing in the back, the rack, and I ended up doing it. I wanted you to be able to see part of the rack, but I got it pretty much covered with them hearts. Now I'm going to take a cow. that I've had it for a long time, but I'm pretty sure I got it off of Etsy. And I'm gluing it onto some thin cardboard, and then I'm going to cut it out and get it where I want it, and then I am going to glue it to the back of the truck. And then I'm going to finish putting some more hearts on. I don't like that gap that's in between the cab and the bed, so I kind of covered it up with some hearts. Now you don't have to put a little cow in there. You don't have to put anything at all, or you can put something that you really like in the back there. You can put your hearts in the back instead of on the front if you want, which is what I probably should have done. I'm just putting some more of them little hearts on, and like I said, I put too many. I got going and didn't stop. Okay, then I took the little rope, I took a jute rope and I had some red and white beads from uh, the 4th of July projects, so I used them, put a few on the jute, and then I put a bow from the Dollar Tree that I made from ribbon from the Dollar Tree and a little heart in the middle of that bow. Again, if you want to be a part of our drawing, the email address is above. Thank you so much for popping in. I really appreciate your support, and I love having you come in. Um, Remember, you may be one person in the world, the great big world, but you may mean the world to one person, and that's enough. Never underestimate your value. With that being said, you guys have a very good day. Love you. Bye bye.